Facemask. My wide receiver 8 is Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
And maybe this is a bit of like, to your point, it's apples to oranges, ranking Derrick Henry at 5, ranking Devontae Adams at 5. Derrick Henry for running back, Devontae Adams a wide receiver. A tip of the cap for the career achievements to this point. Tyreek Hill remains the most dangerous wide receiver in the NFL from a big play perspective. Now, yes, it is a significant drop-off going from the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes to the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa. Significant drop-off. But this is a career giving Tyreek the flowers that he has earned for the stellar career that he has put together thus far. We do not believe in Tua as a deep ball thrower relative compared to Patrick Mahomes. Not even close. Literally every metric, advanced or basic, as a passer, of course we give the nod to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but he came out himself and said, and this is pure player speak. Tua's a more accurate quarterback.
He would take Tua from an accuracy
perspective. From an arm strength perspective, it's Mahomes, no doubt. But Tua's it's not. He's not. If you look at the numbers, Tua is a less accurate quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. Too. He's just saying that.
He has. You're right. He has to say that. He can. What do you want him to say? Mahomes is better than Tua. It's not close. Good luck, Tua. Like he can't.
He doesn't
say that.
have to say anything.
He can pump up his guy.
He can pump up his guy, but it is better than hearing nothing. I will say that. But go on.
So anyway, this is obviously a downgrade in a situation. However, the other side of that coin is that for the first time in at least 3 or 4 years, Tyreek has an ADP just outside of 20. For good reason. And I'm not done my thought. I'm just going in and confirming what it officially is. Tyreek Hill's ADP is 20.9, so essentially 21. You can have him at the end of the second round, and maybe depending on your league, depending on how many people are maybe out on him because of his new situation, you might be able to get him at the top of the third round in 12-team leagues. You're drafting him pretty close to his floor. Now, obviously, we're not expecting a Kansas City ceiling with Tyreek Hill because he's not in Kansas City anymore. But if I can draft Tyreek Hill at 21 versus someone like CeeDee Lamb at 13, that's a roll of the dice that I'm willing to gamble on. I think he soaks up 130 targets or so minimum, where he may not make up, where he may falter in big plays and deep ball catches because of concerns about Tua's deep ball accuracy. I think he can make up for in maybe another career high in catches. And the last thing I'll say, we saw Tyreek Hill, not obviously to the extent of Deebo Samuel, but we saw Tyreek Hill in at times in spurts in that hybrid running back role with Andy Reid. And the new head coach, Mike McDaniel, comes from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. I think this offense could be dynamic, might not be the word, creative and innovative enough to find enough ways to get a player of Tyreek's caliber the ball in plus and positive situations that maximizes his talents. The quarterback drop-off is significant, but the player remains elite. So out of respect for Tyreek Hill and what he brings to the table, I am ranking him my wide receiver 8 for the 2022 season.
And he is my wide receiver 9.
Okay, not too far off.
He does kind of have that Devontae Adams the 2022 Devontae Adams feel, where we are kind of ranking him here. Yes, but we are ranking him more based off of the fact that we are ranking him here based off of what he's done in the past versus what we project him to do this year and into the future. This is kind of like we can't put Tyreek Hill any lower than this.
No, I can't do it.
But just considering all that, I think I am lower on him than you are. I will also just caveat that with I agree with you that the investment that you're going to have to make in Tyreek Hill is more enticing, given the fact that the investment capital is much less than we've ever had to spend to get Tyreek Hill on your squad, and guys like CeeDee Lamb are being drafted a round ahead of him. So yeah, I get that. Tyreek Hill is, based on where he's being drafted, technically a value when viewed through the lens of what he's done in the past. In 2021, 159 targets, ranked 7th.
Pretty good.
Targets per snap rate ranked 3rd with 19.2%. He was number 3 in air yards with 1,709 air yards. His yards per route run ranked 11th in the NFL. So he was getting a ton of yards. He was getting a ton of targets, and he finished fantasy football, the 2021 fantasy football season, as the number 6th wide receiver. He was 6th in red zone targets, 9th in deep targets, 3rd in receptions, 17th in air yards. I don't think he sees the red zone targets he saw in KC.
Probably
I don't
not.
think he sees the deep targets that he saw in KC. I don't think he sees the receptions that he saw in KC, and I don't think he sees the air yards that he saw in KC. So the biggest metrics for him, based off of what he's done over the past few seasons and how he's succeeded, I expect every single one of those totals to come down.
I agree with all of them except for potential for catches.
I mean,
air yards, yes. Targets, yes. Deep ball targets, yes.
I think there's a potential for catches, too, because, yes, they brought in Hill and paid what they had to get him. They're not going to not use him. I get that.
They paid the prettiest of pennies.
That narrative is always there. They paid what they had to got paid up to get him, and they're going to use him because of that. But they have Jalen Waddle waiting in the wings there. They did re-sign Gesicki, who is basically a glorified wide receiver, playing from the tight end position. They signed Cedric Wilson. They added
Chase Edmonds.
They added Chase Edmonds, right? I mean, they added a bunch of pass catchers to this offense to make it more varied, more versatile, and that's all well and good.
And it's put up or shut up time for
targets.
Tua.
That it is, which is a completely different
story. Yeah.
But with respect to Tyreek Hill, I cannot say with any sort of certainty that the targets will match up to what he's gotten in the past on the Dolphins based on the personnel that they have around him. Now, and we are talking about the 2022 season.
Right.
So I can't, we can speculate, Gesicki was only signed for 1 year, so after this 1 year, even more targets for Tyreek Hill. Throw that out the window. We're talking about 2022. And in 2022, his targets are going not way down, but they're going down. And they're going to be less fantasy relevant targets because they're not going to be those deep targets that he got in KC. The air yard totals are going to go down. I can bet you that Patrick Mahomes was in the red zone or will be in the red zone, was in the red zone more the past few seasons than Tua will be this season. He takes a hit. And yes, Tyreek Hill was top 4 wide receiver perennially. Dropping him down to 9 with all that in mind almost feels conservative. It does. And you look at wide receivers who moved to teams, not counting DeAndre Hopkins and Stephon Diggs. Like, yes, those free agent acquisitions for wide receivers, that worked out. Historically, that doesn't work out. Historically, when you bring in a wide receiver through free agency, historically, there is a drop-off. It just happens. And yes, in recent memory, that hasn't been the case. With Tyreek Hill moving to Tua, with Jalen Waddle there, with Gesicki there, with the other people that they brought into that offense. Man, I am worried about Tyreek Hill, and I'm almost at the point where, just like with Davante Adams, I was like, you know what? I'd rather have the guy that I had ranked behind him
one spot
over
below
him. I don't know if I can say that for Tyreek Hill, but I want to say that, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. Yeah, there's plenty of concerns. I can't have him ranked lower than 8th for knowing what he brings to the table, despite the drop-off in situation.
We're giving him to it because he's earned it, but as far as 2022 rankings, I feel like I'm still being a little bit too bullish on what Tyreek Hill can do on the Dolphins. And maybe that's just me being down on the Dolphins.
Okay.
I respect that is a possibility out there, because
sure.
I am down on the Dolphin player. Don't want to take anything away from him. He played in the offense that worked to his strengths. He was the best offense for his strengths. In case.
Well, Patrick Mahomes can do that for a lot of people, but yes, yeah.
And now he goes to one where basically two of his strengths are kind of work better with the Waddle.
Accuracy.
They work better with the Waddle than they do theoretically with Hill. We haven't seen it. We will see it this year. We'll see how it plays out. I just think there's a possibility that Tyreek Hill could even be, wide receiver 12, wide receiver 11, and I have him ranked as high as I do because of past production, and that's just where I am on him.
Fair enough.
So you're higher on him than I am.
I'm a little higher on him. I'm a little higher on him just because of the opportunity cost getting him at the end of the second round.
I respect your point there, and I agree with you there.
So I'll put him at 8. You have him at 9.